Another episode of With the Chiefs.
Wait. Man, I need more rest.
I hope I've got your last name right there.
It's a very good pronunciation.
You should know better than that now, Donald.
I know.
Hello. All right. This is going to be a big episode today. we have in the studio with us today Nick Jeffree. So Nick is a member of the Delta Running Project. We call him Big Nick for
a lot of people call me Big Nick. I guess we'll get into that down the track. But there is a story behind it.
Yeah, we'll get into that. He's not only a runner, he's a bit of a hybrid athlete, I would say. So into lifting as well. One thing I didn't know about Nick until a few days ago when I was researching him, he was also an elite diver, and not elite in the sense when you're a runner at a party and someone says you're elite because you run sub 35, like proper elite. So it'll be interesting to dig into that.
World champion. I think.
World champion. So you won gold medal for Australia at the Gold Coast Grand Prix.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Are we going to get into
No. This is
Okay,
intro. It's all good.
Yeah,
It's all good. I'm just not good at intros. Candy Crush again, Dom. I also heard another stat. You've got the record for the most cigars smoked after breaking 3 at Melbourne Marathon as well. Your personal best includes, so in the marathon, you run 2:57.26 and half marathon was 81:48. And then you also gave me the 100 meter, which was 9:56 apparently.
Yeah, so I was actually the guy sitting on that camera that goes. So I technically count that as the record as well.
Yeah, let's count it. But thanks Nick. Thanks for joining. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me, and that was a great introduction.
Normally we start with just some bit of an update on training. So let's start with you.
You want to start with me?
Yeah.
Okay, where am I? Not much is going on. I don't have any races. I don't have anything like that going on. The next A race for me will be Noosa Marathon next year, and that's end of May. So we're a fair way out now. I guess training update for me is trying to not get injured. Get through summer, not get injured, and that's what it's been looking like. It's about how detailed you want to go with mileage.
Yeah, just give us the last week, like what you've been doing.
So I've averaged probably, if you look at my Strava, it's pretty flat, averaging around 74 per week. Last week, if we include this morning, so 22 hours, 24 Ks on the legs on Sunday for the long run. Saturday's off. Friday's a 30-minute threshold. Wednesday's a double with 10 or 8 in the morning and then 8 or 10 in the evening. That used to be an MLR. And then Tuesday's another session, but more of a, I guess you could call it speed work. So it's at the moment it's 3 by 2K, and then it was 3 by 400 meters, all off 2-minute rest.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's obviously you got junk mileage in there for warm up, cool down, and
Well,
I forgot there's a 8 to 10K, I guess easy day run on the Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah. Well, I know MLR. Why you split it?
Oh no, because I wanted to join the shout out Pace if you want to send me some shoes.
Pace, come on.
The
Pace Run Club.
Yeah.
So where I live, there's a Pace right up where I am, and I was like, I'm moving out of the area, so I thought I might as well join the Run Club while I'm still in the area. So I've just split it up for now, but it'll go back to being the MLR because I think marathon block coming up, there'll be MLRs in there, and
It's an important run for the marathon.
yeah, mate. I think. One of the things I changed. We'll get into this again. I guess you can go off on tangents.
You can do whatever you want.
It's my show today. It's my show. Is that it's actually called Big Nick and Big Nick, Big Nick with Big Nick. Anyway, is that you've got MLR, like the long run was probably the biggest thing that I included into my second block with my second marathon. So
Yeah.
I didn't really have an MLR for that first block, and then the second block I included MLR with my long run, and that I guess I ran sub 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
So MLR, for anyone who doesn't know, is it a midweek long run or
long
medium
run?
run?
that was a quick nah.
No, I used to think the same, but it comes from the book.
Yeah.
Shout out to Advanced Marathon Training.
Yeah.
And then the book says it means medium. Oh, I've got a gripe for some people. So it's medium long run. So LR just means long run, and then S you can kind of make it Sunday long run. But long run to me is anything above 24 in a marathon block, and then anything above 18 to 24 is MLR.
Okay.
Or
So
16.
Shit, mine, all my runs have been like 17.2.
Just round it up.
Yeah.
No one's going to know. But that's the thing. I see people look good on them. But like I see people put LR, like a long run, next to a 12K run. I'm like, what are you doing, mate?
He's in this camp.
I'm like, good on you for getting out there. But come on. You're not kidding anyone.
It's perspective though, like
Yeah.
for a 100-meter runner,
It could be a long run.
12K long run is very long.
Yeah. I guess it's at whatever stage you are in your running career. And if you're running 10Ks, maybe 12 is a long way.
Yeah.
But
I remember when I was started running like 5-6Ks, 12Ks was certified long run.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember
But-
getting
Yeah.
started,
In the context of that book, I guess that's how they define it.
Yeah. Because you're getting up to mileage in that book, the block I was doing, you're getting up to mileage of 115. So
Yeah.
in the scheme of things, 12K would be an easy day, and then MLR and so on and so forth. So it is perspective, but doesn't mean we're not thinking that.
If you train for a marathon,
Doesn't mean we're not thinking that when someone posts long run next to a 12K. Anyway, we'll leave it at
just
that.
lumps us in there.
I mean, from now on, I'm posting LR next to all my 12K runs.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Maybe we should start something. Yeah, just call everything like a long run.
Yeah.
I
I love all the abbreviations as well, like, and that no one knew like what MLR was. Like, is it midweek or is it medium?
Well, my thing is, because it's medium, you can put it. I guess you could put most of the time a long run would be, or like an MLR would be midweek. So people put it, but it's medium long run, and then who cares? It's all semantics at that
It's
point.
confusing because people start doing SLR and it's like Sunday long run. Like, hang on, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Running jargon.
That's all right. Yeah, we don't need to get too bogged up.
Yeah, definitely. Is that it? I think I answered the
training
question.
update. Yeah.
If we're just talking about running, I'll go to the gym.
What gym did you do?
This week I went to the gym. I go Monday, Wednesday upper body. Thursday, Friday I try and get lower body in, and then Saturday's more just a upper body pump. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long are the gym sessions?
No more than an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, lower bodies. I found that lower body, I don't do more than 30 minutes. I don't need to.
Yeah.
I think marathon training, you don't need a lot of volume in terms of strength, but that's because we're doing so much on legs anyway. You don't want to fatigue your legs. Your next day you can't run, or if you do run, you end up getting an injury because you've flogged yourself the day before.
Yeah. So what did you do? Like as an overview, this like for upper body, just an example, because I have no idea.
So upper body, like a session will be hit core lifts, so a lot of compound stuff. So an upper body session would be maybe we'll go incline dumbbell bench press paired with a bent over row, 4 sets of 8 to 12, and then that's the first group of exercise. Second group would be chin-ups paired with shoulder press, like a shoulder press exercise, 8 to 12 of each. And then I do like a shoulder pump. So it'll be like an arm pump. So it'll be like anything bicep curls, just anything do with biceps. And then it'll be like a lateral raise or something to, I guess, widen my shoulders because you've got to go fly, baby.
You got to take off, mate.
Yeah.
Land on Gore Hill, sink the oval.
So yeah, that's probably like a blueprint of what the upper body session looks like. And I've done enough training in the gym to find that like if an exercise is in there, I can kind of manipulate it to, I guess, suit what I need. Like it's not rocket science, and I'm not trying to hit any PBs in the gym. Like I try to keep all my PBs on the racing, on the road racing. But yeah.
Do you kind of periodize your strength stuff as well? Or? Nah. So it's always just
yeah, sort of. I don't periodize it at all at the moment. If I'm in a marathon block, I would. Like I'd probably
move towards more power stuff, or
not power stuff, because my lower body is more power focused, but upper body stuff I try to, I guess, take away the weights, because you'll find, if you've ever done, anyone listening to this will know that if they've done a marathon block, how much residual fatigue you carry on from day to day. And lifting weights just compounds that. So I find it's more just during a marathon block, it's just maintenance. Like you're not trying to put on any muscle, you're not trying to lose any muscle. So I do periodize it in that sense, but not right now. It's just show up, lift some weights, and hopefully you look good for summer.
On the right track.
Yeah. I think we're a couple of weeks out. We've got one more week, and then we'll see what the shirt looks like when I take it off.
You and Tobias when we were running.
Yeah, geez, Tobias looking ripped.
Yeah, Tobias is like 10% body, less than 10% body.
Yeah, that's. I did a scan actually, and I'm sitting at 10.7% body fat.
Yeah,
but Tobias, he's. I don't know. Some people at certain percentage of body fat can look different and have more lean. Just depends where their body carries, I guess, body fat. Yeah. Some people carry their body fat on the legs. Some people.
I reckon me and Smitty would be sub 10. But
really?
We've got shit physiques.
I reckon I'm like 15.
No. Like
I don't know.
You're lean as, like there's nothing on you.
Yeah.
But you got no muscle either.
Yeah, you can't be shredded if you do zero strength work. No, Tobias did like a 6-week challenge in the gym where he was
What
like,
gyms do you go to?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I go.
You can chat
Actually,
to
maybe don't drop that. People showing up. Give me Tobias's body.
It's right. Tobias won't listen to this.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for me. I don't know. I've taken up.
No.
Training weeks.
Good.
No, it's good
week,
insight.
but yeah.
What about you, Dom? What's happening?
Me. So the last time we spoke was like 10 days ago. Since then, it's not been the best. I went through a little bit of a lull period. I guess the silly season's starting to kick in a bit.
Yeah.
I had one good session that week on the Thursday. Went down to the track and did 20 by 400.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you break them up? Because I know people, when they do anything over like 12 400s, they kind of break them up into four blocks.
Oh, yeah.
We used to do that session on King George.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But you would break it up.
Yeah, I think we did break that one up.
But it depends if you're doing
this one was
just straight. What was
just
the
off 1 minute rest.
Yeah, okay, that's
it was me and a mate. It's like a French guy from Turbo.
Is this the one that goes to war?
Yeah.
This guy's
he's just so talented. Like works as a carpenter, doesn't run at all, and just rocks up to sessions pretty much and smokes me. So he's just got so much talent, and I guess like he's got the strength of being a carpenter. But yeah, we did that session, and we were thinking like maybe keeping around 80 seconds per 400, but we just like were flying. I think we averaged 73, which is like 3:05 kind of pace.
It would be,
which is really good. Like I was super happy with that. And then I think I kind of celebrated that session a bit too much, because the next Friday I met up with a couple of friends and had some drinks and dumplings. And
is that bottomless brunch? No.
Yeah, and so I think I had maybe 5 or 6 beers that night, which was okay. You can kind of get away with that.
Yep.
And then the next day we had the bottomless brunch, which was just trouble. I think when you got like unlimited drinks, like you're not keeping count of what you're drinking.
How those things work is you're sitting there and you got like maybe a quarter left, and they pour it. I'm not sure what type of place, but they just pour it up.
Yeah.
Because I went to this one bottomless brunch and it was margaritas.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just pour it in, and you can't count how many. You're like, okay, maybe I'll get through 10 during this sitting time.
Yeah,
but you're like, nah.
I got no idea. Like,
I think after the
I was pretty
fourth, you're
sauced
like,
after.
100%. It was just absolute trouble. Like, I've never been to one of those things, and
well,
that's the drunkest I've been in a long time.
Yeah. When I haven't gotten a message from you saying I'm not drinking for a while. Like, I don't think I've ever gotten a message. It's always the other way around where I'm like, oh, Dom, fucking, I've done it again.
Yeah. No, it's a bit of a throwback to being like a, I don't know, like a uni student kind of running around. But it was a fun night.
Video footage of you guys literally just gallivanting around like Surrey Hills or something like that.
Just being a dickhead. Yeah, it was good fun.
Wait, was this still...
He cut me off from going into any detail there.
I was going to say, is this the one was on the... Were we talking about this morning? Was this the one where you walked into the house party?
Yeah. That was one of our mates.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Grateful not to be there.
Yeah. No, it was a good night, but like, it's just not worth it really. Like the next day...
You would have been so dusty.
Yeah, dusty as, and it was just complete write-off.
Yeah.
And then Monday again, I was just feeling tired and lazy from the weekend, so I didn't run again. That's 4 days, no running. It's like, fuck, what am I doing with myself? But then Tuesday, got back to Turbo. We did... what did we do? Oh, Turbo, this is not a good session as well. I got gut issues halfway through it. So.
Oh, really?
You forgot the coffee beforehand.
Yeah.
At the toilets not open.
No, beetroot juice.
It was getting pretty dicey as well because that time of night they start locking all the toilets at Centennial. So I went to one toilet and it was like busting and it was locked and I was like, oh shit. Had to go try another one, and then you start second guessing yourself, like, fuck.
I've got a question here. Has anyone... No, we'll come the finish your training.
No, you got a question. What was the question?
No, the question... Surely, like, people have not been able to find a toilet and, like, you've done something.
Yeah.
Surely... Am I, like, the only one that's...
Yeah, no,
I want to put that out there. Anyway.
Yeah.
I remember when we were running at Breakfast Point once, and you were like...
I gotta go. Yeah.
Yeah. And
we had to just the run's over. We're done.
Run's over. Yeah, we're like
finding
walking,
a toilet. That's
walking,
it.
Yeah, walking, and like you were like looking at pot plants. Like
we made
I was like, this is super dicey.
Yeah.
I've got some story. I won't share that.
There's one time like marathon training though where I wasn't even doing like a big run or anything. It was just like an easy run, and yeah, the feeling just came over me. Had to run and find a toilet, and like I was probably 50 meters away from the toilet, and I shat myself. Like it was so embarrassing.
I've got a good one. I'm not gonna.
I think I've told anyone that before. But, yeah, that's probably the worst.
That's
moment.
what I was talking about. I was just like, yeah. I've done that 3 times.
It's so bad.
And it's
what
always,
do you do?
Well, like hear this. I was okay. We'll go into this.
Yeah,
I was on
if you want,
I was on an MLR, and
medium.
Yeah, the medium, the medium midweek long run, and then the MMLR, and I was. You kind of get that feeling. Maybe I can hold this till the end, and then blah blah blah. You get down and you're like, nah, fuck. I need a toilet now.
Yeah.
And then in your head you're kind of mapping out where where you're about to run, and you think, is the toilet going to be coming up here? Anyway, I knew the toilet was coming up pretty close, but it's also 6 a.m. and you're on that verge of maybe toilets will be open, maybe they'll be closed. So I knew there was a McDonald's. So we run to the McDonald's. It's 6:05. It should be open, but somehow this morning they hadn't opened the doors yet.
Oh shit.
And I guess when you're running, your tummy's holding it in. So when I got to McDonald's, you kind of like, your body just
mentally,
relaxes.
You're saying, I'm going to go to the toilet.
So let's just, and lucky enough, there was toilets behind where the McDonald's were. So, but yeah, in that time of me looking at the McDonald's, knowing it was closed, and then walking to the toilet, something happened. And let's just say I lost the undies to the bin that morning, and then I had to finish the run. I was halfway through, so I had another 8 k's to go.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there'll be a lot. Maybe people will be able to relate. They'll come out and they'll start hashtags saying,
No,
yeah,
I'm sure it's the thing. It doesn't get talked about much though.
Yeah.
It's real.
I've had some actual trouble, like almost just opening. You know how you're saying you just mentally relax when you think you're like opening the front door, and then I'll be like, oh shit, go.
That's. I think it's a thing because somehow, anyway. Okay. Back to your training week.
Back to the training week. All right, so I had to pretty much cancel the session. I got not even halfway through and was
okay.
So I was
know where that's going.
Bit salty after that. Made it to the toilet. It was all good.
Yeah.
Then the next day I decided to drive halfway to work and then get out and run the rest of it, because to run the whole way is just like a bit too far. It's like 17 Ks. So it ends up being like a 32K day.
Yeah.
Which is just
Where'd
too
you
much. I ran to the Cooks River. Just
nice.
Yeah, a couple of Ks away. And yeah, real scenic, beautiful run into work. It was awesome. I think I'm going to do that more often. Which was awesome. And then ran back to the car in the afternoon. And then on the Thursday, got out and did 12 by 1 minute hills in Centennial, which is that was like a session that I used to do a lot when I was kind of 5K, 10K training, which I think is kind of where I need to be going towards at the moment. Just,
Lock Avenue?
The other one, like the Paddington Gates, whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
In Centennial.
Yeah.
Because 1 minute, huh?
Nothing.
Because I think that one's a bit steeper. So
I assume that's where he's going.
No, it's just like weak. Anyway, no, because the gradient on that one's steeper, but
Yeah.
it's shorter.
Yeah, you do a longer. Anyway,
Lock.
But so did 12 by a minute. Was moving all right. They were all kind of like, I think one or two of them were under 300 meters, but I think previously when I'd done that session, if you can hit 300 meters up that hill, you're doing well.
Stead,
yeah. So I was kind of surprised with that. Again, it was.
You said it was for time?
Yeah, just for
okay.
time. Yeah. And then took Friday off. Saturday was the more than a run. I got out and did like a 1 hour effort, probably averaging like 350s beforehand, just to keep a bit of aerobic.
That's crazy. 350s are just...
Just keeping that aerobic fitness up, because I think I need to keep doing that as well as touching on speed. And then jogged 10Ks with the more than a run guys, which is good. And then today we all ran and did 20K this morning.
20Ks, yeah. Nick did a bit more because 90 minutes is...
It's not enough.
No. Yeah. What did yours... You just do 24, right?
I ended up getting 24 point something. Okay. So it was just under 2 hours. But I either need to hit 2 hours or 24.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
sweet.
Just about. I'm not a slave to the numbers anymore.
Yeah.
We all go through that.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
yeah. That's for sure.
But I think it was like 90K week, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, good.
What about you, Smitty? Big Chief?
Sorry, I'm just getting my Excel spreadsheet out because I'm very methodical with my training these days. Just after I said that, where were we? Where was I in my training? We recorded. Okay. Yeah, so after we recorded was on the 15th, so I'll pick it up from there. I did... Well, I've got written here easy MLR, but it was 17.69 kilometers, so it doesn't sort of make the cut, but I'm going to round it up and call it an MLR.
You'll be questioning yourself now.
Matt Gore was roasting you for your long runs as well when we had him.
Oh, yeah. Just long runs, also just pretty much everything else as well. What do you call me? A part-time half marathon run or something like that. Call me a weekend warrior without calling me a weekend warrior. Then we did that was on Thursday. Then I did a threshold session at the bay, so we just did 7K as a tempo lap. That was like 3:29 average, which is pretty good. I mean, those slightly longer tempos are a little bit tough if you like go over if you just take it a bit too fast. Like I think from about 5K, I was like just dipping over threshold, like sort of into 10k pace maybe. So yeah, probably would have been better to just take it a little bit easier, but overall I think it was pretty decent. I'm getting a little bit better every week. Like the sessions are starting to feel easier. Then on, geez, I hope I haven't gone through this. No, then I went out the next day to Manly with some people from Delta, which was super fun. I don't really get out to Manly much.
On the trails or?
Oh, I don't even know. We were just talking the whole time, and I kind of just it was
zoned out.
Yeah, with Georgia, Aaron,
Smitty directions.
Josh.
Actually, I know where you went. You went up to North Head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was Chris on the bike? Was that
No,
morning?
that was different. That was different morning. Yeah. It's those easy runs. Just kind of like, I honestly couldn't tell you where we went, but I think that's sort of the case when I'm not around the bay anyway. So,
yeah.
So I don't know, but it was good. It was good. Had then I had a bit of a I had a birthday party at lunch, so similar situation as you, Dom. I think it was the same day. Yeah, because we were messaging in separate group chats. Don't think I ended up quite as dusty as you by the sounds of it, but I was getting close, so need to start cutting that out. Still got out for a longer run, 22Ks. We ran around. That was when you were out as well. The big group run.
Oh, when did I see
in the city?
You? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, that was good fun. Who was that? That was a lot of people.
That was a big group.
Yeah, that was around Glebe and where else do we get? Glebe, Anzac, City, Piedmont. Yeah, that was a good loop.
Yeah,
that was the one where you ditched early. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think like how that finished. Yeah. Okay. Put you on blast.
Also, that I put down as the long run, and it's only 22 kilometers, so can't call.
I think we can always just revert back to what Dom was saying. It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
But feel free to roast in the comments.
Solid week overall. It was 102 Ks, so first time I've been over 100 Ks in a while. Then just the next day did easy. Then we did Gore Hill session on Tuesday as usual. We did 2 reps of like 2K, 1K, 500 meters with a 500 meter float / jog. For us, it was probably took it more of a jog than a float.
Can I quickly just jump in here? Because I've had people ask me what a float is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
And I don't know the difference between... Well, I can kind of distinguish, like, the difference between a jog and a float is, I don't know. Like, I would say they're the same thing. But from what you've just said, there might be...
So, the way I conceptualize it, it's just the float's done harder than a jog. Maybe like, I don't know, 20% reduction in... 20 or 30% reduction in the pace, maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's pretty much like, for me, it's like, I don't know, just under marathon pace. Like probably 50K pace.
Yeah. So if you do... It depending on how you take the float, obviously it's going to impact how quick you go on the reps. So if you're pumping the reps and you're taking the 500 as a bit of a jog, then you're going to obviously be able to run harder. But
so I've been floating wrong then.
Have you been jogging?
Well, I've been jogging.
Yeah.
Well, my sessions now don't actually... It's more of a walk, but... Yeah, when I was doing a session where it said float, I would almost, jog. It was just like almost like gassed.
It depends on the session, right? Like
pretty much a jog, but just
fast.
Not letting yourself like completely kind of
stop.
Take the pedal off. Yeah.
Like for example, when we did a good threshold session around the bay, we did like 5x1K with a 500 meter float, and like the 500 meters was still on, like probably like 340s, and the Ks were like 320s or 325s. So like that would be. Yeah, okay. It depends. It depends on the session. Like if it's meant to be continuous.
It is a pretty confusing term though. Like
yeah.
Float almost sounds slower than
jogging.
Jog.
Yeah, you're just floating. Yeah.
Because I've seen Kenyans do their sessions around a track and they're almost shuffling. Have you seen that? How they
Yeah.
obviously do like a 1K or whatever, and then they're called like their rest between their 1Ks. I'm not sure if this is true or not. Is just like a lap of them shuffling. So instead of them walking, it's more. Have you seen videos of that? Anyway, we'll pop it up on the screen right now. But yeah, I've seen. That's what I thought a float was like. Just like a little shuffle, but obviously not. Now I've been
we used to call that like sprinters jog.
Yeah,
because sprinters don't jog.
Anything over like
I was like waiting for I didn't get it like.
Well, no, I've known a few good sprinters in my time, and anything over, I guess, 200 meters for a jog would get them puffed out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That session was good because I took it a little bit more like a jog.
Not a float.
Not a float.
Yeah, okay. That's where you went wrong.
No. Just means I could go harder on the reps. It's all good.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Then, just tried to keep it so it ended up, like the last rep was a lot more solid. Definitely. The Ks were pretty good. The 500 meter rep, that's not my strong suit. That like speed stuff at the moment, at least, like got absolutely dropped by Tobias. Is just like he can just turn it on.
I've been struggling with speed as well. Like we've done a couple of sessions in turbo, and I've had like usually I'm fucking winning every rep.
Yeah, you're the freaking.
But not anymore.
Man.
Like I think I've done too many ultras or something. Like at the moment, everyone's passing me. So
really.
I don't know. If anyone wants to take a scalp off me, then
well, the guy that's saying that sessions are like war, I think he's. Then I did a MLR in my perspective, another 17 kilometers, which was good. On the Wednesday, went back to doing it on the Wednesday at that time. Then I did just easy 11K the next day. I forgot where I put my strength session in. I did only the previous week. I did one.
I was gonna say, did it happen?
I did one strength session the previous week and 2 in this week. I can't really summarize, can I? But anyway, I did first hill session in a long time on the Friday. So we did 5 reps up Lock Avenue. You kind of just run up the top and then just come back down. So the rest is pretty like very generous. So session was either 3 minutes to get up, or if you get up before 3 minutes, you just by the time you get at the top.
How many meters is it?
It's like 700.
Yeah.
Jeez, what's that? So what's 3 minutes to the top, pace wise?
I'm not sure. I was
340s?
doing.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I did.
So you're pretty gassed by the time you get to the top.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I started at like 2:45 and then worked down to like 2:26 by the end of it.
Yeah.
Which those ones are like I was pushing it quite a lot, but they it's not steep. It's steep.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's
steep.
like you can really push it up there.
Yeah.
But you work quite hard. It's good. You can get the legs turning over.
Yeah.
And then we did a 10-minute tempo after, which was good. Then easy 45 the next day. Then long run today.
Nice.
Yeah.
MLR.
Yeah, shit. It's 20 Ks. I don't know what the total is, but it'll be around 95 to 100.
Strong.
It's good. Yeah. Happy. Anyway, I won't take up too much more of the episode. What do we want to dig into?
Back to kind of like the main reason we're here.
Yeah. No, I know that. So, diving. What do we want to talk about?
We should have had like what do they call like a Monopoly card? You flip a thing. And it's like what you talk about. Anyway. Maybe next time.
No, I reckon. Yeah, we start like
start at the top
with Big Nick. How did you kind of get into sport? Like, what was your kind of sports background? Take us back to the beginning.
Yeah, I guess I've always been active. If you talk to my parents, I was always active. In terms of sport, during school, I was trying everything. I was played football, soccer in brackets, cricket, baseball, every sport. The only sports I didn't play were rugby and AFL. Those are probably the only two. I did cross country as well. So I was running back in like year 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. I do pretty well. And like I won the 800 meter one time in year 5 at the running kind of. Funny enough, that 800 meters, thinking back to it, because it was pretty memorable because I won it, was how long it took. Yeah. Whereas 800 now is like, if you have an 800 meter in a session, like this is 2 minutes 45 worth of work or whatever pace you're running. But back then, it felt like ages. Anyway, so I've done that, and then I think what year was it? Around 12. Started. There was a diving pool at the school I was at. Started diving there, and then the coach at the pool there was one of the coaches at the New South Wales Institute of Sport, and then she got me into this talent identification program, which kind of gets young kids I guess from 8 to 12 who could be good at the sport, could be prospects for Olympics, Com Games in the future, and they kind of just train you from that. And then I guess did that all through my year, I guess high school, and then a bit after uni as well. And then, that was the diving component of it. During the back end of my diving career, though, I was trying to run a bit. And I think the most, funny enough, we're talking about MLRs and long runs being 13Ks. I did this run one time. And this was a few, I was usually just doing I had this 5K loop I'd always do. And that was it, 5Ks. And I was like, I'm going to go out and do something hard today. I live in Abbotsford, which is pretty close to the bay, and I was like, I'm gonna run from the house, do around the bay and back. And that was a long way. I think it was only 13 Ks.
Yeah.
So I did that. That was the longest run. I don't think I ran further than 13 Ks after that for a while. Kind of retired from diving there a little bit, and then I kind of picked up running because I didn't want to be one of those elite athletes that stop training and then become fat. Like I just didn't want to be that person. So I always kept up strength training. I always kept up some sort of, I guess, cardiovascular training. Running was my form of choice, and that's where my running started. Did some 5K races, did some 10K races here. Always had, I guess, there was always on the top of my head, like mind was, I always wanted to do a marathon. And I always said to myself, I'm never going to half-ass it. So if I'm going to run a marathon, I'm going to run sub 3.
Yeah.
So, I guess that kind of put that idea in my head. And from there, I guess I kept training obviously there was a bit of a hiatus from running there for a little bit because I got injured, sprained my ankle at Centennial Park. I know the exact rock I sprained it on as well.
Rock.
So I run past it. It's on the outside loop.
You would have picked it up.
On the outside loop.
It's on the outside loop, and I give it the finger every time I run past it. So, what's that scene in a movie where that? Anyway, there's a funny scene I'm thinking of where there's. I can't think of it because it will be here for another 10 minutes for me trying to think of it. But I go past and I give it the finger, or I like kick it or whatever. But I've kind of settled my demons with it, and it's like a pretty love-hate relationship because
I don't think it's giving you anything back. I don't think it's going like, I still got you, mate.
Well, it did. It fucked me up for 18 months because I rolled my ankle on that rock, and then. If you want to go into the science of...
But I guess my point is, it's not going, there's Nick again.
Look, I reckon it is. I'm not the first and I'm not the last ankle that's been rolled on that rock. Anyway, so I guess we'll go into the quick physiology of like an ankle roll is you have, what's it called? You have these signals that go down to your brain when you sprain an ankle, you kind of lose them. the thing escapes me, but someone will know what it is if you have a look, or we can, I guess, add it in the back end. But it has these things, and it's proprioception. So you lose after you roll an ankle, you lose, I guess, proprioception, and you got to build that back. And I never went to the physio, so I kept rolling my ankle because proprioception kind of, it's where you're like, it's your brain's idea of where your foot is in air. So when you put your foot, it kind of knows where to put your foot based on what it's seeing. Anyway, when you roll your ankle, you lose that. So I kept rolling my ankle because the proprioception, I guess the signals from the brain down to the ankle.
It's like a coordination thing.
Yeah. Weren't all there. So I kept rolling my ankle. That turned into like another injury. I was seeing physios. I then saw a podiatrist. And then eventually I saw a sports doctor. And this was all 18 months, I guess.
When did it happen?
I couldn't tell you. Like 20...
Okay. That's all good.
2018, 18 months. I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, 2019. Anyway, yeah, so I kept spraining my ankle, kept doing blocks, and then it would get sore again, or I'd rub my ankle again, and I'd be back to square one. Saw a sports doctor. I was referred to a sports doctor. They gave me cortisone in the ankle, and it's been fine since. And I've never had any... I guess anyone who's had an injury where it's something like that's reoccurring, or like an ACL, you're kind of fearful of, I guess, is this going to happen again to me?
Yeah.
And I'm over that now. So I'm not on runs thinking, am I going to roll my ankle this run? Because that was like a thing that was happening to me. It was I would go on a run and I'd be like, am I about to roll my ankle today?
Yeah.
So that was over. And then that was around August 2021. I'm going to say it was August 2021. Yeah, I think so. It was either 2020 or 2021. COVID was like, it's all this one little block there.
Yeah.
And then, I haven't been injured since for more than a week since that. And I've just, run 2 marathons since. So I guess, that as a summary, that was my career from a young age all the way up to, I guess, now.
Yeah.
And now I'm just running and going to the gym, and I'm going to start, I'm putting this out there now. I'm going to start boxing next year.
Oh, boxing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you want to
I
do
just
that?
want to punch people in the face. So I think there's a place for, like, I guess, self-defense. So I want to give it a go. Yeah, just something different.
Yeah, something different.
And I'll probably take out a component of, I guess, my gym stuff in place of it, or use, I guess it's still cardio. So maybe take out an easy day and
you're
float
so
in,
fit.
but it would just be something different to try. So that's something I'm doing now. And that's where I'm at. I guess I forgot. During that 18 months, I was cycling a lot.
Okay.
As well. So I was doing a lot of road cycling to keep fitness up. But there is no correlation between cycling fitness and running fitness, because the first, I guess, 8 weeks coming back from after the cortisone injection, when I was riding 200 plus to 400 Ks a week on the bike, there's no correlation because I was still gassed.
Yeah. What about like base fitness?
Hardly, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, not much.
I guess running, like...
You're using everything, whereas it's all legs.
Yeah.
So I guess your legs get real efficient about pumping oxygen around to the working muscle. But upper body, because you're like twisting, there's a lot more going on.
And it's like kind of like thrashing your legs a bit more. Running.
Yeah. And if you look at it, heart rate for cycling is kind of steady, whereas running, you do target.
Yeah. I would assume cycling and easy running would be quite similar, training that zone 2, because you'll be at that steady state heart rate.
I just think it's different muscles.
Yeah. I don't know. You wouldn't be able to like do marathon pace running or threshold or anything. Well, you could do threshold on the bike.
I think there's a place for cycling in like a training block for a runner.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't replace it completely.
Yeah.
Like if you have a hour easy for running and you supplement that for 90 minutes on the bike, because there's a bit of it's not 1 for 1. So if you do an hour on the bike, you're not doing an hour on the on the run. It's not the same.
I reckon, it's probably like a long way to go, like to max out your running.
Yeah.
Until you should start thinking about the bike.
Yeah.
Like you probably need to be doing 10 hours running and then think, okay, I've done enough running. My body's like absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
I may as well jump on the bike.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What about diving? Tell us
Yeah,
a bit
we
about
can get
diving.
into that.
Yeah. When did you start?
I started when I was 12. Yeah, at school. So I got in at school. Then, like I said, it spiraled kind of. The coach there was the coach at the NSWIS, which is like, we're using abbreviation. It's just the New South Wales Institute of Sport. And that kind of spiraled. So I was doing that. I was in that program from 2009 up until 2000 and end of 2016, I'm going to say. And then what happened? I had like a bit of a hiatus where...
Try not to touch the table, sorry, because it comes through on here.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, sorry. Mate.
Yeah, no,
sorry.
that's all right.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's all
I
right.
can just see.
Oh, you can see it jump. Yeah, all good. So I got into... after that, we went to... Like, I obviously was training with the Institute of Sport there for a little bit. Then I went down to Melbourne for a bit. Then I also did a couple of competitions after the fact as more just for fun. Diving after I left the Institute of Sports was more just for fun. I think early on, I kind of knew in terms of early on in my senior career, because once you hit 18, you're out of the juniors, you're in the opens. Early on in my junior or open career, I knew that I was going to make the Olympics. In the back of your head, like I was saying, you can kind of have a good day where you show up, you dive your heart out, and you make the team, whatever team it is. But then the chances of that happening, it's the sport's very perfection focused. So yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to that sport. Whereas running, you put in the training and you kind of know where you're at on the day. Whereas diving is a lot different. A lot of things can happen. There's a lot of variables outside of your control. There's a lot of variables in your control, but there's a lot of variables outside of your control. It's a lot more of a mental sport than anything.
What's like an example? Just because I'm not sure. Like
in terms of
like how it can go so differently. Like I don't.
Yeah, so I guess you get one chance for diving. So you have 6 dives in an open list. In an open competition, you have 6 dives you have to do. So, and you only get one chance of doing those dives. So if you do a minor stuff up for one of those dives, the competition on the day is kind of done.
Jeez.
So that's why I mean it's very perfection based. Whereas running, you can have a
bad patch,
shit half of a race, I guess in a marathon, but if you can have a good back end or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or I guess in that sense, running, you kind of know where you're at on the day in terms of the training leading up to it. Whereas you can be training really well in diving, show up on the day, your mental game's not there, and you just perform bad.
How did you prepare for that? Because like it seems very high pressure.
Yeah, I was kind of bad. That's probably why I didn't go as far, because I know mentally it was one of those things. I was in my head a lot, and there was a lot of reasons for that, but it wasn't even diving reasons. I guess there was diving components to it. There was a lot of moving parts, and if you're in your head a lot when you're up there's a lot of, I guess there's a fear factor. You're 10 meters high. You're thinking about what could go wrong. There's, I guess, pain and injury going on there. So it's a lot different to running. I think marathon running and any distance running to diving, there's a mental component there, but it's completely different.
Yeah. Because once you get, I mean, with running, there's a lot of like pushing through certain pain stuff. But it's once you get started, you're not like thinking too much about like what you're doing. You just
exactly. You get in the zone, and you can kind of switch off your brain. You're still focused, but you switched off your brain in a sense that you're able to get out of your head and kind of just focus. Like you get in this, I think it's called runner's high state. And if anyone's been that state, you kind of know like you're present, but you're present, you're focused, but you're not, how do I put this? You're not focused on what's going on to your body. Whereas I think with diving, how do I describe it? It's very minute and it's very small and detailed. Like you can feel everything, and it's more detailed, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
The actual feelings you got that's going on with your body.
The actual performance only lasts like a couple of seconds.
And with running, like I was saying, you can't take yourself out. You have to be even more present with diving than running.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of just relating it to surfing. Like you catch a wave and, I don't know, you surf the wave, and then after you're done, you're like, oh shit, like I should have done this, should have done that. And you just can overanalyze stuff really, really easily.
And that's like what I'm saying, it's 2 seconds or however many seconds, and the adjustments you have to make in those 2 seconds are a lot. When you take out the actual, I guess when you take out, or when I take myself out of diving now and think about this, there's a lot of, the reason why it takes over 5 years to get to a certain level is because of all those things. Like it's all ingrained in me now, but the reason why it's taken me, I guess the reason why it takes 5 to 10 years to get to that certain level is because, what do you call it? It's like a skill acquisition. Whereas running, there's not much skill to it.
Yeah. You're just training your physiology. Okay, so how do you train for
diving? Diving was a weird one, and I guess I got my opinions on it in terms of what we did in training. It might have changed now. It wasn't very science focused. There was a lot of volume to it, and that's why a lot of people get injured. So it was, especially at our age, like teenagers coming up the ranks, is that a lot of them got injured. I got injured a few times, and it was basically overuse, and there wasn't a lot of science to it. Like if you do a running program, you kind of know, you want to increase by 5-10% every week. Otherwise, if you go over 5-10%, you get injured, or there's a higher chance of you getting injured. In diving, this is what we did back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. People came through that program, and let's say 100 people went through that program and 10 people came out. Is that a good ratio to train on? Not really. Like if you're looking at it from a science point of view. Whereas I think people go, that worked for 10 of those 100. We're just going to keep doing that because 10 people came through. And does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot more science in the program like that's been incorporated in the last even 10 years since I really got out of it, which is good. Because hopefully more people get further along their career. But when I was there was a lot of injuries going on. Like in terms of the training itself, I guess week to week, it was, you do 5 to 6 pull sessions. You'd be in the gym 2 to 3 times a week, and then you'd have a dry land session. And a dry land session would be something like a foam pit, and I guess you could call it gymnastics type training. I guess if you're a runner listening to this, you'd probably be like, what's going on? So I'm trying to make it sound a bit something like a picture in their head. Dry land just means, I guess, you go to a gymnastics center and do flips and stuff. That's the basis of it. Yeah. So you do a bit of two dry land sessions, 2 to 3 gym sessions, and then about 5 to 6 pool sessions. And thinking about that on a growing body, that's a lot of sessions. So that's why science wise you probably don't need that much. Looking at it from an overuse, there's probably on a graph there's probably a volume of training to how well you can recover ratio, and that was just on the upper end of it.
So what do you actually, when you do a pull session, like, just what's an example?
Pull session, so you'd get there. Like I can go through pull session, get there, do a stretch, do a bit of core exercises, bit of we call it strength, but it's not really. It's more just a couple of core exercises. Maybe that'll be 30 minutes. Then you'll do maybe 30 minutes, 15, 30 minutes of somersaults. And this is back when I was doing it. It's changed now. I know it's shortened a lot. So our pull sessions would take anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So 30 minutes stretching, core strength exercise, and that'd be like bodyweight squats. Like we'll do squats, bodyweight jumps, Abs would be usual gymnastic style abdominal exercises, hanging leg lifts, crunches. Anyway, somersaults, dry land. This would be on a box onto like a mat. So some of that would take 30 minutes, and then 2 hours in the water. And that would start. The start of that would be like entries, which are basically a warm up version of diving. And then you do your list. So you have a list which you compete and you train that. And if you're on 10 meter, the dives would actually be broken down. So you'd have your 10 meter dive, and then there'd be a 5 meter version. And then there'd be a 3 meter version of it. So you do the 3 meter one, do a couple of repetitions of that, move to your 5 meter one, do a couple of repetitions of that. And then if you're training your 10 meter list, you do a couple repetitions of that, if that makes sense. So you see Olympic divers, they do that dive on 10 meter, it's broken down into little bits.
Right.
So if you do your whole list in a session, you do each part
for all of the dives.
Up to the top. You do anywhere from three to 6, I guess, of each list. There's 6 dives in your list. Some days you do your whole list. Some days you do a part of your list, and that's how it would work. And that would be a normal session. And then obviously if you do 3 meter, that would be a different thing altogether as well. But that's lists. So a list is when divers talk about lists, it just means the dives you compete. So on 10 meter, you have 6 dives, and if you talk to a dive and they go, "Oh, what's in your list?" They're asking what are the 6 dives you compete? What are the dives that you compete on competition days?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably a bit. Yeah, that explains. I was just trying to think, but it makes sense. Yeah.
and like depending on like what level and what skill you have, you'd have different dives in your list.
Yeah. More novice, you'd have easier dives. Olympic level, you get to a point where everyone's dives at the elite level are almost the same.
Yeah, right.
So that's where I was, and that's where I guess the juniors come in, and they all need to get to. That's the end point, is that 6 dive list where it's the Olympic dives, but it looks about the same for everyone.
Interesting.
Back to running.
No. Last question on that is, so when did you sort of know you weren't gonna like what?
You kind of know with competitions, and I was always at, I guess, persistence and consistency for me kind of kept me there longer than other people. So I kept showing up. I wasn't the most talented person, but I'd say I worked the hardest while I was there. And look, if people listen to this outside, they might not think I worked hard, but I was definitely one of the harder workers versus, like, if you look at my talent next to hard work, my work hard ratio would be a lot higher than my actual talent.
Yeah.
So, what was the question again?
No. When you knew you were gonna. On the talent.
Yeah. So from that, I kind of knew early on working hard, but there's a point where I guess talent kind of, where you got to work hard. And I guess I got to the point where I wasn't getting that external feedback from competitions and performing well. Yeah. And that was around 20, in my open career. So I went to a couple of international competitions, and then in that time I would not make finals. And then one of the coaches sat me down and said, "This is where you're at. You're probably not going to get any further. But you're just going to stay." And that people need to hear this. Like, you can't be living in some fairy tale. A lot of people in, I guess, elite sport are living in this fairy tale where they can stay where they are and they can just, I guess, get by. True. Whereas if you want to be the Olympics, you can't just get by. So he sat me down, and I kind of worked out from there. Diving's not going to be something where I could possibly make the Olympics. I could possibly make the Commonwealth Games. I'd already been to a couple of trials, but I hadn't made the teams. So I kind of just made an exit plan. Yeah. And then that's when I kind of did those 6 months. So I used to 2019 and 2017, I did like 6 month years. So diving season is 12 months. Right. Whereas I was doing 6 months, and it was just like because I was focusing on one competition, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
We could do like a whole podcast on diving.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I'll probably, if I'm not careful, because I'll just keep asking questions around diving.
Like, it's kind of interesting because diving, you're talking about like proprioception before, and how like you're aware of like how your body's moving and stuff like that. I think, did any of that kind of translate into running? I guess you would.
Not really, because the spatial awareness, maybe I have good spatial awareness, so when a bike's coming past me, I'm able to have my wider senses on. Yeah, but in terms of spatial awareness with diving, it's more what you see in the air. So it has. I don't think there's any correlation to diving, and I guess that part. I also didn't roll my ankle. Oh no, I broke my ankle one time. Oh, I broke my foot one time when I was diving. Fuck. But it wasn't diving. It was being stupid. But yeah,
okay.
I wouldn't say there's any correlation between the spatial awareness to the only thing I've been able to take over. Oh no, there's two things I've been able to take over from diving to running is my massive quads, which could be a hindrance or it's probably more of a hindrance if you look at, I guess, a traditional marathon runner.
It's underrated. Marathons have pretty big legs.
But the other thing I've taken over is I was doing some sort of squat variation in terms of strength training 2 to 3 times a week for 5+ years.
Yeah.
So
strong as.
The diving is a power sport. Marathon running is more of an endurance sport. So I think we're talking about bounce and Kenyan and how I come from. I've got fast twitch muscle fibers. I've got more of a fast twitch muscle percentage in my body. So I have that bounce that some people just don't have. So that in terms of if you've got a higher percentage of lower or slow twitch muscle fibers, if you got a lower percentage or high percentage of those types of muscle fibers, you wouldn't have that bounce.
And I guess that's kind of like similar to the talent you have in diving. Like you've already got like the capability to go a long way if you've got that speed already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah. So okay, then running.
Yeah.
So you obviously said before you already had the goal of running a sub 3.
Yeah.
So what? You just got into
into
training, or
when was it? Around 2016. Yeah, around 2016 I was running. Actually, funny enough, I saw Conor McGregor running, and I in one of these UFC.
There was like those YouTube,
those ones that
lead up,
come out. Yeah. And I saw him running. I'm like, and I searched on Reddit. What would Conor McGregor run a 5K in? And someone said like sub 20. So I was like, oh yeah.
You go quicker than that.
So I think I got in. I started running, and I only ran 5Ks. I just kept running 5Ks, and I think
to beat Conor McGregor.
Yeah. So I was in that Conor McGregor phase. Anyway, that's why I started running. I think so. Yeah. Anyway, it's a better story when I say that. So I was running with my diving career, but I was only running 2 to 3 times a week, and then I slowly built that up. While I was diving, I wasn't running that much, maybe 20 Ks a week max, and then I stopped running. I couldn't even tell you my first race. I had I think it was City to Surf. City Surf, and if anyone's done City, if you're not from Sydney and you haven't done City Surf, or if you are from Sydney and you haven't done City Surf, you're missing out. It's honestly the best race experience I've ever had, and it's the same thing every time. It's from start to finish. It's a good time, and you're fried by the end of it, but it's good. It's good. I'm just I'm reminiscing of good times. And after that, I think I wanted to just get better and better. And then there was some 3-hour talk in there, marathon. I think I always wanted to do a marathon as well. And I got injured. So like I was saying before, I got injured 18 months, and that kind of stalled that because I was building up to a half marathon. And then once I got back running, I started with Delta, and that kind of spiral. It just made it easy, I guess, to start a block. Because a lot of the Delta guys do Gold Coast. That's one of their, I guess, main races in a year. And it just was seamless to sign up to that and then do a block. Yeah.
Is that how you met Josh? Because you were training a lot with Josh, weren't you?
Yeah, Josh. Yeah, Josh Duncan, shout out to him.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I met him.
He was like around kind of.
Yeah,
because
because
Gore Hill.
I don't know if he did Gore Hill, because my first marathon block, I didn't run with him. The first time I met him, I couldn't actually tell you. He was on like a long run one time. Or anyway.
Because you two were like the duo. That's what I remember from Melbourne.
Yeah, so that was Melbourne. So after Gold Coast, I ran a 3:06 or something. Wasn't happy. Look, it was probably where I was at.
Yeah. 3:06.
But then...
Pretty good first one.
Pretty solid, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. It was a sub 3 hours. But after the fact, you look at like a marathon, you go, wow, that was tough. So yeah, I'm happy with 3:06. It wasn't what I wanted, but I knew straight away. I was like, okay, let's go. I think the boys, Arthur, Tim, the group we were running with, were like, okay, you could back up here.
Yeah.
So I think I had 4 days off, and I did a session Friday morning. So I ran the marathon Sunday, did a session Friday morning, and it was like 800s or something ridiculous.
Jesus.
And
your body would have been like,
the central nervous system was fried. Anyway, I don't know how Josh got into it. I think he was umming and ahhing about a block, and I think we just got talking. We're like, okay, well, we're looking at the same times. We both want to go sub 3. It's a lot easier to do a block with a bunch of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether that's one person or 5 or 10, 20, it's a lot easier to do a block with people, because you've got people to keep you accountable. Then you've also got people you can kind of track how they're feeling. Long runs as well, a lot easier. So yeah, we're kind of a duo in that regard, and yeah, it was a good time. I know Josh didn't get his time; he was disappointed. But in terms of the lead up to it, I couldn't ask for a better lead up to a race. You wouldn't think I'd run a marathon. I think it was 11 weeks before Melbourne. Gold Coast, I think the difference was 12 weeks. So yeah, 12 weeks prior to Melbourne, I'd run Gold Coast. You wouldn't think I had. You'd think I'd just done a 20-week block and come from Kenya for like 2 weeks or something.
Wait, so what was the block like before Goldie?
So it was a 16-week block, but because it was my first block, I got shin splints three or 4 weeks in, and it was all the way into the lead up. I was managing shin splints for 12 weeks, and I was lucky. I was working at the GWS Giants, and lucky enough I had access to one of those anti-gravity treadmills. So I was doing MLRs on there. I hated the treadmill so much.
It's terrible.
And
mentally,
like physically was fine, and dealing with that was physios twice a week, massages, and then I think once the taper hit 2 weeks out, the shin splints went away. So it was just the increase. So the first 4 weeks, I went from 60 Ks a week to I think 80 Ks, and that jump kind of just, my body was saying, not this time around. So it was a good learning experience, but I got through that block. I think the most I did was 95K week. Yeah. Shin splints, like they would hurt for the first.
Was there anything else you did to get over the splint shins? Sorry?
Not really. Physio, you can minimize the pain. The thing about shin splints is you don't want to stop completely.
Yeah.
I'm not a physio.
It's tough. It hurts so much.
Yeah, I'm not a physio, so don't come at me.
True.
But you don't want to stop completely, but you also don't want to go too far. So it's more management than anything. Especially, that's the issue physios have, is you have an athlete that wants to keep going. Yeah. And it's about, I guess, that give and take of how much can we do, how much do we have to pull back. Yeah. So it was, how much can I do without causing a pain going over 3 out of 10. And that was fine. It was always the first couple bit of the session was painful. I was wearing calf sleeves, getting needling. It was mainly just getting the calf not tight, because the mechanics of how the mechanics of how a shin splint works, it's more just if your calf if the strength isn't there, and then if the mobility isn't there, and you'd know this with any injury, it's always mobility, strength, and overuse most of the time, especially with running. So once it was just more management until the block, and then, like I was saying, taper time, they disappeared. I haven't had shin splints to that severity since.
Yeah. It's like, I had shin splints when I first got into running as well. And I think, it's just kind of getting through it, getting strength in your legs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucked at the time.
Yeah. If you want to hack, I'm not sure if this is one exercise I've always kept, is seated calf raise isometric holds, 3 by 45 seconds, single leg, so each side. I do those once a week. I was doing them twice a week. They're the best.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
You can go heavy on those as well.
Yeah. You can go heavy, and it builds your tendon strength. So over time, if you do them consistently, it builds your actual tendon. And because your soleus or soleus is one of the main muscles that you use when you run, and it's directly correlated to shin splints because I'm trying to think. I'm not a physio, so I don't want to go into it too much, but it does link.
Bottom of your calf there, yeah.
Yeah, so you got two muscles in the calf. You got the soleus,
And it's like
and then you got the gastrocnemius, which is the one that's connected to your hamstring. So your soleus is only connected. It's what do they call a 2-joint muscle? So the gastroc is a 2-joint muscle because it connects through 2 joints, being ankle joint and then your knee joint. Whereas the soleus, I think, connects before I forgot what it connects to, but it connects before the actual knee.
right.
And that's the one you use. So when you bend your knee, that's the calf muscle you use. So if you bend your knee and do like a calf raise and feel the back of your calf, it should be soft because that's your gastroc. Whereas if you stand up and do calf raises and feel your calf, that's your gastroc because both are switched on.
Yeah.
But that's a bit of science. Yeah. But yeah.
It's good, yeah.
I love all the names of the muscles. Like, they're just all just massive.
Well,
Yeah.
background wise, I did an exercise sports science degree, so that's how I know all that stuff. I'm not talking out of my ass. To everyone at home, I'm not just pulling
Googling
names out of my ass.
You got to taper. It was
taper was fine, and then haven't been injured since. Or I'm trying to think. No, I haven't been injured since. I've had a bit of hammy niggles, bit of tendon stuff. I had a bit of ITBS in the last month.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't. I've had ITBS before, and you kind of know. I was out for a long time with that.
How do you deal with that? That one's like another one that plagues everyone, and I've got no idea how you treat that.
You've just got to keep. My thing is one thing is again strength.
Yeah.
Depending how bad it is, I'm obviously talking from personal experiences. I couldn't run on it. I had to kind of settle the, inflammation. But it's more just keeping. The ITBS is this. It's a tendon. It's the iliotibial band. ITB. That's probably not it, but it's close enough.
Something like that.
But then S stands for syndrome. It's this band that connects from your hip joint all the way down to the side of your knee. So I guess keeping that loose, whether through foam rolling, mobility, strengthening of the other muscles around it, glute, quad. So if you do that, you should be fine. I guess it's also overuse. The best thing is to not get to a point where you're getting that. If you feel that's coming on, try to pull back.
Yeah, get in the gym a bit more.
Yeah. Well, people just, and that's the thing, there's a question I think in here where advice to give to people coming to running is, 1, listen to your body, and 2, there's a time and place to, I guess, push training, and there's a time and place to pull back.
Yeah.
And it's trying to find that fine line between the two, because you can obviously, especially when you're in a block, you want to push, but if you push further enough then get injured and you can't even race your A race, you're going to be disappointed in yourself anyway. So missing a couple days, or I guess taking a week off if you need to, is, in the scheme of things, not that important. I'd rather take a week off than take 6 months off.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you subscribe too much to the mentality of I just got to work hard and put my head down, and sometimes you can ignore your body.
Yeah.
But I think with experience, you sort of end up picking up on how you're
definitely.
Yeah. But you have to go through when you've pushed it too much. I find sometimes
I think it's good advice because no one's talking about that enough.
Everyone's
just the Goggins mentality, fucking go thrash yourself as hard as you can.
That's not, it's not going to work for putting in a good block. You'll just get injured realistically.
It also depends what stage. If you're listening to David Goggins and you hear this guy wakes up one day and runs 100 miles, and you think you're going to wake up 100 the next day and run 100 miles, you're kidding yourself.
Yeah.
So it's push yourself with the David Goggins mentality, if we're going to use that example, but in the capacity of how you're doing it. So if you haven't run before, maybe go, I'm going to do the David Goggins mentality with a 5K.
Yeah, I'm going to kill my run walk session that I have to do. Like,
yeah. And don't just like go all in on running. Like there's so much more you can do to improve your running. Like yeah, which I think gets left out.
Yeah,
being smart about it.
Just being smart. Yeah. You see it all the time. You try and tell people. Like some people I've seen run, and I'm in their sessions, and they've been running for a long time. I'm like, how are you not injured? How are you not injured? I'm not sure if we're all thinking about the same person, but I'm like, how are you not injured? and I'm like, give me your genes sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to find, I guess, that balance, and it's that cliche.
You do make the mistakes. You got to learn. You got to learn from those mistakes. Like,
yeah. Well, in that case, then don't listen to what I've just said. Get injured first. Realize what your limit is, and then just pull back.
Yeah. I think example.
It's also a good point. Like you kind of have to go through something to learn from it.
For sure. Like when I had my calf issues first, I was just I was in the mentality of like just trying to push mileage for the sake of pushing mileage, and I was like, I've got to get up to 140 Ks and hold it there. And I wasn't listening to my body, sort of thing. And then it just, you just get injured. But also, even on the easy runs, just feel like shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's
more than one run, on like 3 easy runs, you just always feel like shit.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to use that example of 100, let's say you're trying to push to 140 Ks.
Yeah.
Maybe 140 Ks for you. Sorry, I was just touching the thing. Maybe 140 Ks for you at that time was that point where if you do get to 140, you might be able to hold it for a couple of weeks, but you're going to get injured.
That's pretty much what happened, yeah.
And that was like, I guess, go back to my marathon blog, that was the same with me, is 80 Ks for me at that time was too much. I was going to get injured if I stayed at 80 Ks.
Yes.
And that's what happened. My body got injured. Whereas now I can sit at 75, 80 Ks per week and I'm fine.
Yes.
So it's all about getting to a point, getting comfortable with it, and then pushing it further.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what you do in a marathon block, especially the first couple, is touching that unknown.
Yes.
Is pushing, like you want to push the upper limits of where you're at.
Yeah. Like for example, when I came off running my second marathon and I ran 2:36, then it was to push how quickly can I get to 2:30? So then you go into that mentality, and then that's when you look at the advanced marathoning program and you're like, all right, let me follow this. And it's like 140, even getting up to 160 Ks. And I was like, yeah, if I just do this, but it's unrealistic for what my body is actually prepared to go through.
Yeah.
So it's a good point to touch on but you'll probably end up still going through it. Making the mistake.
Everyone does.
I think everyone will make the mistake.
True. Yeah, it's easy to give advice.
Yeah, like you can listen to this and be like, nah. Yeah, because
that's the thing. Listen to this, go get yourself injured, and then come back and listen to this again, because then you understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, but even then, it's so hard to know that point. You have to just, do you have an example you can think of
In terms
where
of,
you have just pushed it?
Oh, for me, I think the first marathon. The marathon went well. Everything was good, but I probably got back into training too quickly, and tore, or my plantar had something going on.
Yeah, that was after Canberra, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that was really annoying because it changes your whole gait.
Did you actually tear it?
No, I didn't tear it. It was
Because
just
I've heard people say, if you've got, I guess, chronic plantar fasciitis, is to go. Someone said to me, go run on the treadmill, tear it because it's better.
Really?
It depends what level you're at. If you're, I guess, this person was at elite level and they had plantar fasciitis, and it was better for them to just go tear it, get it, I guess, surgically put back together.
Oh, right. It'd be quicker recovery.
Yeah, rather than trying to manage it. And it's weird. It's a weird injury.
Yeah, it is strange. And it took a while to kind of come back from that. And then because I kept trying to run through it, I was just running on one side pretty much.
It's like a stabbing pain.
Yeah.
And then the first 5-10 minutes of your runs are the worst.
Yeah.
It settles. And you're like, I feel good now.
Yeah. But yeah, that was really frustrating. I think just keep pushing and pushing after you've done a big marathon effort. You need to give your body time to recover. But yeah, after that, recovered and started doing more strength work, which I think is what everyone misses out, or a lot of runners do.
Yeah. We can go into that because I guess in strength work, we'll finish your story. But yeah, strength work from my diving career, I never stopped. So that was something it's a lot easier for me to preach, go to the gym, do legs. I'm not saying you squat up 1,000 kilos or whatever, but doing something for your lower body is important. And I have that ability, or I guess I've got that history from diving that I'm able to just, it's easy for me to, I'm comfortable in the gym, whereas a lot of runners, they've never been to a gym before. They don't, it's a big scary place. And you see me walking down, you're like, this guy.
It's a good point though. I think like having like I'm similar. Back in the day, I was doing all different sports through high school and spent a bit of time in the gym and got familiar with all the different lifts and how to do it all.
More comfortable.
So yeah, I can walk into a gym and
know what you're doing.
Yeah, confident in, I don't know, doing a deadlift or whatever. Whereas like if you don't know the fundamentals, it's kind of hard to identify with that.
Yeah.
Which is probably a big block for a lot of people.
And running, you don't need complex exercises to get by.
No.
Because you like I said, you're getting a lot of strength training through running. Like you're breaking down your like the whole point of going to the gym is to break down your muscle and then build it up again. And you're doing that through the running. So you don't need to do anything crazy. You just need to be hitting the key areas, your hamstrings, calves. I guess you can do the anterior tibialis, which is that muscle in the front of your shin, which is important for I guess knee pains and stuff. Your quads, glutes is an important one. Like people underestimate how much you use your glutes as well, and that's a big one. But it's not complex what my program would be, or I'm guessing what your program will be. You get in there, it's for me, it's 6 exercises maximum, and you don't have to go in and start doing burpees with bicep curls and
Olympic lifts and stuff like
So I think people, I guess when they think gym from a running point of view, they just overcomplicate it. And I heard you don't even need to have a gym membership really to get by on a strength program for a runner. You could have a couple kettlebells or a couple dumbbells, a couple bands, and you could do a home workout 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I just find that going to a gym, if I have a home gym, it's hard to motivate myself to go, I'm going to do a 30-minute workout at home. Whereas I know if I show up at the gym, it's a workout's getting done.
Yeah.
Weights are getting lifted that day, sort of thing.
For me, it's the opposite. Not that I can delve into my deep experience with strength training, but I got a kettlebell over there, and I just when I went to the physio after. Sorry, can I talk about my hamstring, Dom?
I don't know this backstory.
No. I was banging on for weeks and weeks about my hamstring, and Dom's like, all right, we need to cut it out. We need to stop talking about this hamstring. But yeah, to sort of strengthen that, I've just been doing basic like squats with it, calf raises, and deadlifts.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you can get by, if you can motivate yourself to do a home workout, be my guest, go ahead. Like
it's whatever works
for you.
Yeah, for example, but it's always like, because I'm not comfortable in the gym and I haven't been, so like going in my car and then going to the gym and like that, it's much easier for me to convince myself to just pick up the kettlebell at home and do it. But I mean, you got gym is such a big part of your life for so long, so it's like
I've got probably I've got over 10 years experience. Probably over 12 years experience in a big gym.
Yeah.
And
does it feel like home at this point?
Well, kind of, because I know I used to be, if we want to go into it, is like when I first started going to the gym, I used to be, I guess, fearful. And I was 12 at the time of wearing a singlet in the gym. So I'll wear a singlet now to the gym and not care.
Yeah.
But there was a time and place. I was 12, so everyone goes through that type of fear.
It's a weird place though. You walk into a gym and you feel a bit like self-conscious. Like,
But if everyone, I'm telling you now, everyone's thinking that.
Yeah.
I reckon even the who was it? Chris Bumstead just won his 5th Olympia title. Shout out to him. He probably he has his own home gym now, but there was a point in time he probably walked into a gym and was self-conscious about what he was doing. So everyone goes through it, but I guess the benefits of strength training for a runner outweigh the negatives of not doing any strength training at all.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I want to get back in the gym. And it used to be so much fun, like going to the gym with a couple of mates.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of cheering each other on to lift big was awesome.
Punch out a couple of push-ups and
yeah.
I was never there.
Yeah. I feel like, it'd be good if the running kind of scene got a bit more into the gym for sure.
Because if you have a look at that elite level, you're talking about your Brett Robinsons, your Sinead Divers, who else? You got Jack. They're all going to the gym.
Yeah.
And like you say, you might not see it posted on Instagram or their Strava, but I know for a fact that those guys go to the gym.
Yeah.
And they're doing, I guess you could call, strength and conditioning programs. Someone writes their programs for them. They have access to the facilities down at the Victoria Institute of Sport. But those guys are doing this stuff. You might, they're not.
Yeah.
That's probably one thing that maybe that's an issue, is that the elite guys aren't posting. They post all their running workouts. Oh, I ran 50 Ks at 2:55 pace and feel great about it the next day. But they're not posting the gym stuff. So that's another thing that you don't see a lot of, is high quality athletes posting their, I guess, gym workouts.
Yeah, true.
I remember.
I don't really want to post my gym stuff because, like, I've got terrible technique and it's just not that impressive.
I post my 20-minute things on Strava. And it's in actual fact about 14 minutes without the rest. But anyway.
Yeah. One thing, actually, speaking of Strava, why is there not a message feature? Yeah. You know how, like, you meet someone on Strava, but you don't want to add them on Instagram, and you just would just send them a message about, hey, will you... I don't know why.
You don't want to always comment on their run.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have a conversation about, like,
it's so public.
So if it's Strava, like, listen to this, if they can, like,
Strava,
I'm sure they've thought about it.
Firstly, we're first on the agenda is sponsorship for this podcast, and then we can
talk.
We'll put in a word.
Just like have a message. I just thought that'd be the easiest thing to have.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be crazy, because I know, I guess, some people, if you're, I guess, a female, you don't want people just messaging you about,
anyone,
or me as well. Yeah, we don't have to signal out any gender in particular, but I know a lot of people would be messaging me if they, could. But you can just you can have a feature, I guess,
about the quads.
Quadzilla. You could have like a feature on there, just filter the things if you don't know the person, delete it, sort of thing, kind of like what I guess Instagram has. All those big social media, but that's something I'd really like to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like sometimes you just don't want to comment, shit run, mate. You just want to send them a private message about it.
Or like, they've added in likes, so you can say something heinous and get likes for it.
Or if you're like interested in what, like, a run someone's done or whatever. Yeah. Like, sometimes you don't want to just publicly post it.
Yeah. That's true.
Because the way comments, I guess, work, like you're saying, and the way comments work on Strava is terrible
you're talking
as well.
to the public. You're not talking to the person.
Yeah. I don't like it. Anyway, that's my gripe with Strava, but it's still the best app out there. I haven't found any better alternative.
No. Yeah. Trouble with alternate apps is then you have to get the user base onto that.
True, yeah.
Which is like, once you've established the... Yeah, anyway. So what went well? Obviously, we were talking about the block before Goldie. So what went well for Melbourne? Because you've big improvement.
Yeah, well, I guess going back to Gold Coast, the block was fine. Yeah. I think the main issue was that I wasn't able to do, I guess, I could only do about 80% of the work throughout it because of the shin splint. Yeah. And then coming out of Gold Coast, I felt surprisingly good. Like I said, I had that Friday session, and it wasn't like at that point I hadn't decided I was going to do Melbourne, but I felt good enough to do a session. And then what changed? It was more, for me, it was longer runs. So MLRs during that block got up to 24 Ks. Long runs were over 30.
Mate, the 24K MLR is tough for me.
There was only 3 weeks of that.
Yeah, okay.
They were averaging around 20. It was 20 to 24 Ks, and I think there was 2 weeks with 24K MLRs.
Okay.
Long runs were massive. Like I had one thing I did, I'm going to keep it for this next block, is 1 3-hour run. So it was just 3 hours on legs. Pace-wise, I think we worked it out. Me and Josh worked out we're going to drop down every 5Ks. We're going to drop down 10 seconds. So I think we started at 5-minute Ks, then dropped down to 450s, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we felt good. Like knowing mentally that you can run for 3 hours was something I would probably I am going to put in there again. It was the biggest run of the block. The other thing was a lot of 30K plus runs with marathon pace in there.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest one was around 32 or 34K with 21Ks at
continuous
marathon pace. Continuous. Well, like in terms of continuous, it was continuous enough. Like we stopped maybe a couple times to like slow down to pick up gels. So everyone knows you put gels on the top of your car, you put bottles on the top of the car.
Yeah.
So like that, but we tried to make it as continuous. The 3-hour cutting off myself, going to the 3-hour one was continuous. I actually, funny enough, I need to go to the toilet and I peed while I was running. I just
proper continuous. Yeah.
And this was around, this was around the bay actually, and it was lucky enough it was like a wet morning, so there wasn't too many folk out on the run. But yeah, so that one was continuous, but the the 30K ones were trying to be as continuous as possible. Like we wouldn't shoe change. So whatever shoe we started with was what would run the whole thing in. So I think that's the thing that takes the most is this shoe change can take 5 minutes.
True. Yeah. So how were you feeling towards the back end of those runs? Were they getting easier as the block progressed? Or?
I think that 21K, or funny enough, there was 20. I'm lying here. So there was 2. So there was a 21K at marathon pace, and then I also had a 21K because I had the New South Wales Half Marathon Championships at Olympic Park, and I ran that average pace like 351. So technically that would be a faster marathon pace as well.
True.
Yeah. So there was 2. I'm underestimating how fast I was running during that block, but both, I think those main sessions were all marathon paced. The ones with the long run. So anything over 30K that had some sort of marathon pace effort in them.
And how often would you do like a marathon or a long run with marathon effort in it?
I think there was 10 weeks. There was 10 weeks of the block, or 11 weeks, and let's say 6, because I know one of them was City to Surf, and that's faster than marathon pace. There was that half marathon championship that I just spoke about, and then I think there was a 4 where there was different lengths at marathon pace. So one of them was 18, one of them was 21, and then there was a couple more in there.
What were the other sessions? What were you focusing the other sessions on? So you're doing some Gore Hill, and like threshold and stuff as well.
I actually don't know.
Okay,
don't know what the session. It was a lot of junk mileage, or Jerry miles, as some people call it, and that was like
Jerry miles.
Yeah, it's like an old school. I think it's like an American thing. But there was 5 before a session. There was 5K warm up, 5K cool down.
Okay,
just to get mileage in there. Yeah. And the session was maybe 3 by miles at 5K. That was the session.
Not much.
Yeah. So there wasn't much speed work in there. There was a lot of, I guess you could call it, in the book, it's called general aerobic, where you're trying to sit at, I think, zone 2. I think it's a lot of zone 2 stuff, MLRs. The way long runs worked and MLRs, anything with an LR in there, was the first half you'd sit at zone 2, and then you'd
work down
in terms of heart rate.
I think the way I remember it is you like progress down to like almost 10%.
Yeah.
Like very close to marathon pace towards the end of it.
Yeah.
So it's like a
pick up.
A bit of a pickup, which builds a bit of strength. So you're not just sort of not jogging, but yeah. Yeah,
because the 2 things that were, I guess, takeaways from Gold Coast. One was I think I was saying on this morning's run was at 26 Ks, I kind of knew that my race was over because my legs were just going. Like my lungs were fine. And the other thing was that I was trying to think, why was this the case? And it was because all my MLRs was the strength component. But it was because all my MLRs were on that anti-gravity machine. So my strength wasn't there, because how those machines work is you're running at a percentage of your body weight. So if you're 100 kilos, you run at 80%. So you're only running at 80%, 80 kilos.
Yeah.
So if you start running your marathon at 100 kilos and you're only used to running at 80% or 90%, that
you're going to be missing a lot of the strength.
Correlate.
Yeah, for sure.
What does it feel like running?
Anti-gravity?
Yeah.
It's weird because you can't really gauge pace. So I had to go off heart rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like your legs would just be like bouncing around. Feels like you're on the moon almost.
Yeah.
Is that how it feels?
Like to be honest, it kind of feels.
He's got a reference point for being on the moon as well.
Yeah, true.
It's gonna make that. Gonna do that math. Yeah, once I was there. But anyway.
Is that like instead of the plane take off on a rocket? To be honest, it felt useless running on those things. Like, really? You feel useless because you're going off heart rate. You're running at like 4-minute pace, but it doesn't feel like 4-minute pace because you're running at 80% of your body weight. Yeah. Like
being in a low gear on the bike, just like moving your legs, but nothing's happening.
Yeah. So that's why you have to go off heart rate.
And it's, I assume, incredibly boring.
Yeah. Like I'd have Seinfeld in front of me.
Yeah.
And even that doesn't make it any better.
Yeah.
Any better. Yeah. Because you're watching the time tick down and I've got 90 minutes on this.
It's nah. I remember when there was like horrendous weather and there's a treadmill at my parents' place, so I was like, I'll just go to the treadmill, and I was like, no, this is like, I'd rather just go in the rain. Like it's just boring. I don't know.
Doing sessions on the treadmill though, is good.
Yeah, we did a good session once.
Yeah, that's right. It was like pissing down outside.
It was terrible. And it was super windy.
Yeah.
To the point where it's just like, this is pointless.
Yeah.
We did like marathon pace stuff. And that was good. That goes quick because you're pushing it.
Yeah, and you can like focus on get through this bit. The pace is locked in.
Yeah.
And you've run sub 15 on the treadmill before.
I have, on a couple of generous treadmills.
So you got through that block and you...
we can talk through that experience if you want.
The marathon?
Melbourne,
That would have been good, right? I remember did you do some flexes for... No, in the race?
Oh, man. I'm not sure if they aired those photos. They're like, we'll keep those for later. It was probably my best rate. Like, nothing went wrong. It's also because we prepared down to the T. I was listening to podcasts beforehand I was listening to your guys' ones with Alex. Alex in your podcast spoke about this nutritionist podcast as well. And then I went and listened to that one. And I got and I got that protocol thing and was dialing in the long runs prior to that.
Yep.
Because one thing with, I guess, fueling is people think marathon fueling is you think you're fine with what you do, and then the science says you can do more. You just got to train yourself. So I was downing a gel or water bottle every 30 minutes during my marathon. And people go, that's overkill. But in terms of the science and my body weight and all the calculations after the fact, it was what I needed. And I trained it probably 3 times prior to that in long runs, and I was fine on the day. Like I didn't have any bowel issues. Like the carb loading starts, I think we did a 36-hour, I guess, carb load. People think you carb load for 3 days or whatever. It's 24 to 48 hours prior to the race starting. We did a 36-hour. You just, followed that down to the T, woke up on race morning, felt good. It's weird. Taper feels weird. That last long run before, I think everyone experiences that last long run felt flat as. It was 21 Ks at easy pace, and I felt flat. I felt shit. And you're like, what the fuck is going on with my legs? It'll be fine. And I guess as the week went on, you kind of don't know. You kind of lose that feeling of what fresh legs. I don't think I've had fresh legs since the last taper. So Yeah, woke up race morning. It went pretty smooth, I guess. The book kind of breaks it down, and shout out to Arthur because he kind of broke it down as well because he'd run Melbourne, I think, the year prior, and you kind of can break that race down into 3 sections in terms of up until you hit St Kilda Road, whatever that one goes out and back. Is it St Kilda along the beach there? Anyway, whatever. St Kilda Road, and then that's so from start to that point is section 1. Section 2 is just St Kilda Road out and back up until Port Melbourne down to, I think it's Elwood or whatever, and back up. And then the last section is once you get to the top of, actually no, wrong road. I think it's Beach Road or something. And then the last section is when you get to the top of St Kilda Road and you got about 10 Ks left, and that's the 3rd section. So you can break it up. So that Beach Road section, you want to zone out completely. And that's what I did, and that helped a lot.
That bit seems pretty boring. It's just like...
Because I couldn't tell you what I was going... Like, I couldn't tell you what I was going through. Like, it was pretty clear. Gold Coast, it was such a fuzzy feeling in my head, what was going on. Like a lot of mental stuff. Should I stop? Should I keep going? I guess fatigue as well. Whereas Melbourne, the middle part was where I couldn't tell you much what was going on.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you when I took my gel.
Like in the zone.
In the zone, kind of switched off, which is what you want.
Yeah.
Because when I got to the top of St Kilda Road... I started before that. At the bottom of St Kilda Road, I just pushed because I said to myself, if I got to 32K and I felt good, I was going to start pushing. So I was sitting with the 3-hour group up until that point, and came to the bottom of St Kilda Road, and I was like, I feel good, so I'm going to start pushing here. Got to the top of St Kilda Road, still felt good, so I just kept going. And I was past people. You hit the point where you're in the mix with the half marathon people running that morning as well. It's a bit annoying, but you kind of just push them out of the way. That's why it's
let's get the laps out.
I was gonna say, yeah, it feels like the last I guess couple corners of a 800 meter where you just like pull the elbows out.
Is that how that works, Tom? Did you just start pulling the laps out?
Mate, you're doing it whatever you can at that point.
Yeah, trip a couple of old grannies over. They're running 2 hours. Hope no one sees you. Anyway, so you get to the bottom of the tan. Run up that tan bit. That I started cramping. Funny enough, I didn't actually get the cramps in Gold Coast, but now I know. And you're changing your gait while you're running so you don't get cramps because you can feel them, and you get, I guess, down to the bottom of the tan. As you're coming out of the tan, you got about 3 Ks to go, and I looked at my watch. I was like, oh, I'm fine here, so I'm just going to fly home, and you just enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I think everyone should go through a marathon block, or hopefully go through a race where you get to the last 3 Ks, and you've made your target, so you can enjoy it. Because Gold Coast was, I couldn't tell you what the last 3 Ks were, or
just get home,
anything like that. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good way to run.
Yeah,
marathon.
Because you were there that day as well.
Yeah, I was
blew
there.
up. Yeah,
yeah, I blew up massive. I pretty much ran it the opposite way.
Yeah, because I actually remember on Beach Road seeing you come past. So yeah.
Saw you and Josh in there. I think hopefully I learned my lesson from that day.
Yeah.
But if you get yourself, sounds like you got yourself to a certain point in training where you were just no doubt fit enough to run sub 3.
And those 2 sessions were the 3 hours on legs. That was a good indicator. And in terms of how well I pulled up after that, I think the total for that day was around 38. 38 Ks.
So you're putting in some big work.
Yeah. And then that other one was at 21 or 23 Ks at marathon pace. And then at that point, it kind of just cemented up, this is going to be good.
Yeah. So whose idea was it for cigars after the race? Immediately after the race?
I think it was me. And then I called Josh. Funny enough, I called Josh and was like, oh, should we do cigars after? And he's like, yeah, just book whatever. So I have this place on the Gold Coast that I get, if I have time, I get them from this place. But there's places in Sydney which can turn around the cigars pretty quick. Called them, asked them.
The Cuban cigars legal?
What was that?
Legal?
Yeah, they're not performance enhancing. If that's they're probably performance.
Or is that just in the US?
That's the US because of Cuba.
Yeah, right.
Don't. I'm not a political.
No, they you can't import Cubans into the US because of the Cold War.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. So,
And they haven't changed that. They haven't changed that.
Like, get with it. Come on.
Yeah. Well, you got them. These are not Cubans, but
these are Cuba. These are from Havana. Yeah, they're Monte Cristos.
Okay, so we're not in the States, so
no,
SWAT
it looks like it's all legit.
SWAT team's not going to roll up.
FBI, open up! Yeah, so Cuba. Yeah, so cigars. Tim obviously was there. He was helping us out. Good shout out to Tim.
Yeah.
And yeah, we thought it was going to be a sick photo opportunity. Like, to be honest, it was more for the photo than anything else. Because I hadn't smoked a cigar for that whole block. And cigar smoke, you kind of got to build up to your tolerance to the actual smoke itself. So my lungs were pretty clean. Anyway, we can go into the story there. So we light them. It took 8. It was windy around.
I saw you. Ducking. Yeah, ducking behind.
It was windy at the G. So
and it's busy. So people are walking past. You got 2 blokes trying to light their cigar. They're like, what the fuck are these guys?
Yeah, the issue we had was, one, we didn't have a proper lighter.
Yeah.
So we were using light matches, and 2, it was windy. So it's hard on a yellow flame. It's hard to, I guess, light a cigar and have an even burn. And so we lit it, and then we're really excited to walk, I guess, towards the food after. So we're going to Hugo's Deli in Richmond, which is about a 30 to 40 minute walk.
After the marathon.
And it's only about 34 minutes after the marathon. It probably usually takes 15 minutes, but we're walking pretty slow.
Sure, yeah.
Smoking on the cigar, blah, 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 feeling good. We look sick. Everyone's giving us a thumbs up. We've got the finisher medals on. These guys are sick. This is awesome. And we feel good, look good. And then I get to Hugo's Deli and feel like shit. Like I'm greened out. I've got nicotine. I have too much nicotine. And anyway, I was not in a good way. I was in the gutter, dehydrated. Hadn't had food yet. I think I was off gels and Morton powders, whatever I was taking.
Your guts cooked as it is after the race.
Yeah, so I'm in that gutter, and then Tim's like, "Oh, do you need water?" I'm like, "Yeah, a little bit, mate. Give me some." And I was in a bad way till we got back to the hotel and had a shower. So recommendations for anyone: if you're gonna smoke a cigar, maybe eat. Nah, make it the day of, but eat and have water. Get all that out of the way.
Yeah, okay.
I think if you don't take any advice from this episode, that's the key advice.
Clip that thing. Clip that. So yeah, if you're gonna have a celebratory cigar after the race, make sure you eat and drink enough water to replenish your, I guess, what you've lost. Yeah.
I do like the idea of a celebratory cigar.
Well, you see all the NFL players do it when they win the Super Bowl. If you win the NBA championship, some of the AFL players this year smoking cigar. So yeah, there's a time and place for them.
Within the block, any time and place. Yeah, don't get me on cigars.
Yeah, I guess one of the other topics we usually touch on is running lifestyle sort of stuff.
Yeah.
What's the shoe rotation looking like at the moment?
Rotation at the moment. So, favorite shoe ever, I have to say, I've been through a lot of shoes, is the Saucony Endorphin Speeds.
Oh yeah.
I use them for any long runs because they got the nylon plate in them, responsive. I've got 600 Ks in them. They're the 600 plus Ks in them at the moment. They're the best shoe I've ever had. I bought 2 pairs of them. I couldn't recommend them anymore. They're probably on sale now because they're pretty old. That's my main shoe. So they're getting broken out 2 to 3 times a week. 1 to 2 times a week. Easy day at the moment. I'm on the Gel Kano's 30s.
Oh yeah. What do you think?
They're good. If I like something heavy to slow me down, because I'm obviously it's hard to go slow on easy days, especially if you got a good shoe on. Super Blast as well. They're about to get out of the rotation. I've just got to hit 600 Ks on
Not
them.
a fan.
Got like some days they feel great, some days they feel all right. So whereas the speeds, I don't have them here, but the speeds, whatever day it is, you put them on, you feel like invincible. Yeah. And then sessions. Well, I've got the Invincible 3s there. I don't really wear. They're more like a walk shoe. But if I want to take them, like let's say we're on a trip and I need an easy day shoe, I'll take those because they look good as well.
They're good looking shoe. Yeah.
Session wise, I'm still getting through my Alpha Fly ones. They've got like 400 Ks. They still feel good. And then I've got for my other session, so my speed stuff, I use the Adios Pro 3s, Adios Pro 3s.
How do they go?
They're actually a pretty good shoe. Like they're firmer than the Alpha Fly ones, but you kind of like I've started to enjoy them. They're a different shoe.
I feel like they were a pretty like slow release to Australia, so they never really got like
the
a
traction.
lot of hype. Yeah.
They're a good shoe at the moment. Like it was so easy when it was just the Vaporflies, because then you know what shoes you were getting. You're getting the Nike Vaporflies for your race. Whereas now you got two. You're spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
So I'm umming about. I think I'm waiting for the Alpha Fly 3s. That'll be the next super shoe I get.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll probably wear that for my Noosa marathon.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll wait and see. Who knows? There might be some like other shoe that has that new Adidas one that's $500, but
yeah, fuck.
I'm not sure if that's worth it.
It's like $800.
That's a big ask. It's such a big ask.
Yeah.
And they were saying like it's only
novelty.
It's only useful for one like race.
Yeah.
But how true is that? Because
I think it's just similar to like all the other Nike shoes. Like the foam just doesn't last very long.
Yeah. So
how is it? How are they $800?
I don't know, technology.
That's ridiculous.
They're like half as light as like Nike's Vaporfly, Alphafly. So because they're like as light as like the old kind of super light marathon shoes, but they still got the super foam in them.
I thought it was because they only released 500 of them, so the scarcity of it all was why they're expensive.
Could be that as well.
Anyway,
500. Yeah. That's not many pairs. They'll go through. Yeah. Anyway,
that's my rotation. So yeah,
I had the chance to get a pair in Berlin, but
you did.
Yeah.
I don't see you paying $800 for shoes.
No, I was like, no way, I'm doing that.
No way.
But I came home and everyone's like, oh, the fucking shoe, like, whoa.
were they offering everyone the shoe? Or?
Yeah. You could just rock into the store.
So maybe there were more than 500.
Yeah, maybe.
500 seems low.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just your rotation.
Yeah.
Lifestyle.
The other one is what? Do you have any diet sort of that you follow?
What's your diet? Yeah.
Diet at the moment. Well, I hate. There's two sides to it. Like I love cooking, but I hate cleaning, and I hate the time that it takes to cook and clean. So I eat a lot of ready meals, like the ones you put in the fridge, put in the microwave for 2.5 minutes. So I eat those for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then at the moment, the fish bowls just open up around the corner from us. So I'm getting fish bowl for dinner and lunch almost every day.
Yeah.
And then I also eat, sometimes I eat, what's it called? What are they called? Like tuna, like a tuna can.
Yeah.
The big tuna cans.
Rice.
And then a rice, but fried, like the home brand egg fried rice thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put tuna in that, I mix it around, and it's a snack. Like that's a meal. It's good carbs, good protein. My diet's clean, I like to say. Like I eat pastries. We obviously had a croissant earlier today. I probably, like people go 80-20, I'm probably 90-10. So
you're a bit of a moderation.
Yeah. Yeah, moderation's always good.
But I like that. It was like quality croissants though.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to eat something naughty, you may as well get 100%. The best
like
thing.
That's the thing. I hate. There's nothing that annoys me more. I also like fine dining as well. So go and get a good steak is nice.
Yeah. You got any spots?
Yeah.
You should try
In Sydney, Bistecca is number one for me. I haven't been to like some of the others, Gidley's and stuff, Botswana.
Botswana's the one with the $900.
Is it?
Yeah, I saw some video
$900.
on YouTube. This guy called Spanion.
That guy.
Yeah. He goes and He does like a
steak.
He's like
steak. He was actually really
dude.
good. Yeah, the prison
right.
guy. His story's cool. If anyone wants to check him out.
Yeah,
But,
he's good. I watch his stuff. I've been watching his
he's
Hood Talks. Or,
Hood-
not Hood Talks. The
Ghettos or whatever.
he goes to the
Yeah, the
ghettos.
hood.
Yeah.
He's like, no, he's probably one of the only people that can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how he looks and stuff. He's I haven't met him, but he seems like a pretty down to earth guy.
Yeah.
So Bistec is number one steak for me at the moment. I'm going to Firedoor, which is meant to be another good place.
Is Bistecca the one where you have to lock your phone away?
Yeah. You don't have to because you don't have to put your phone because I've looked at the reviews and like, oh, they took my phone away. You can take your phone, but I think the thing is they don't want you taking photos of the like food, putting it on Instagram. You don't want to be. They also don't want you to be on your phone.
They just want you to
talk. Yeah.
My brother and his girlfriend went there, and they said, they had to. Well, they didn't have
you
to.
Don't have,
like
they
they put it. They were like, "Do you want to put it?" You know,
like
and
they said if you need to take a phone call, you can.
Yeah.
You just got to step outside.
Yeah, it's
Which
cool
is
little
fair
concept.
enough.
It's not. It's good concept.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's like novel to like. Yeah, I've the only bad reviews on their Google thing is them people saying, "So they took my phone and I wasn't able to call my children," or like whatever. Just take like obviously you didn't ask the question. Like no one can force you to.
They're not gonna be like phone in there.
So that's best steak in Sydney if you want to go steak places. I'm trying to think what else. I eat bagels. Like I do like getting a carb in my day at least, and they'll either be English muffins, crumpets, or a bagel, and I'll put peanut butter. Here's a little like thing if you want to try it out. It works best on English muffins. I'm trying to think what it works best. English muffins or toast is butter. So I'm the type of person that puts butter with their like peanut butter. So it'll be butter, crunchy peanut butter, Nutella.
That's not controversial. That's how it's done.
Yeah. Look. Anyway, if you want to go into it, mate, the contents of peanut butter is nuts. In butter, there's no peanuts in butter. So I don't know where the two, but just because it has butter in peanut butter, it doesn't mean it's anyway.
I wouldn't have picked that out as controversial. I think,
but it's like butter is a fat, peanut butter is a fat. It's a fat and a fat. Like.
So, okay, so that's where you're going. Well, this is a lot of fat.
No,
what I'm about to say.
I thought
it was more just like I thought it was like the flavor.
I really don't care.
I thought it was the flavor that people.
Yeah, the flavor's
Could be
incredible.
the flavor as well. Like both pretty salty.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the creation I've come up. So
Yeah,
on
sorry,
toast,
you hooked us in here.
Yeah. So you've got butter on the toast, so it melts. Then peanut. It doesn't matter what order you put this in, but the last ingredient goes on last. Is you either put the Nutella first or the peanut butter, and then sprinkle a bit of Milo on top.
Whoa.
Sounds
I'll
pretty
be
good.
trying that.
So yeah, that's like more. I haven't had that in a while. That's like a little secret thing people don't know about. I don't think anyone listening to this would know what that is.
Mate, it's
Just
getting
put
out
every spread
secrets.
you can onto a muffin.
Yeah.
What
Get
about
the Vegemite out.
Yeah. Oh god.
What did you say?
He said get Vegemite out.
Oh yeah. Nah.
So you're not you don't drink much as well, right?
Nah. Well, the industry I'm in is, I guess you could say, notorious for drinking.
Yeah.
Because that's how deals are done. But I maybe drink once, twice, 3 times a month. Nothing excess. No more than 6 to 8 standards. Like I haven't got drunk in ages. Just because I hate that feeling of one. I hate the feeling of putting your head down on your pillow the next day on that night and your head's spinning and it feels like you're on a roller coaster. Yeah. And 2, like how dusty you feel the next day.
Yeah. Were you ever into drinking?
No, like I went through that stage when you're 18, 19, 20 where you go out to the clubs and you're drinking, and I've had nights where you get obliterated. I don't think I've ever passed out drunk, or I guess you wouldn't know if you've passed out because you've passed out, but I was never that person that was going. I wasn't doing week after week.
Sure.
If I was going out, because I was also training with my diving during those years. So I think the most I went out, I've actually got a story about going out. We'll get into that in a sec. It will be a quick one. Is that, I wouldn't back up weekends. I wouldn't do Friday, Saturday. I wouldn't do
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weekend after weekend after weekend. It would be like once a month sort of thing. The story I was about to say was with my diving, we had diving 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. And I had a mate's birthday party that previous night at the club. The club closes at 3. We were at the club till 3. Got to sleep at 4 a.m. at the hotel in the city. Had to be at diving at 7. So think about that. So I think I had an hour sleep. Woke up at 5 or 5:30. Had to bus it home, and then drive my car to train. I call my coach. I'm like, oh, the buses are running. Like made some bad excuses. Anyway, I showed up, and that's probably the worst. Like after, I guess, night out experience I had with training.
Yeah. You just, a couple of times, like rocking up to sessions hungover, because
running sessions.
Yeah,
I couldn't do a running session.
When we were doing like the 800, Saturdays was always a hill session. Started at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
and that lined up with the time when I don't know, me, Smitty, and all the boys would be just going out every week without fail. And there was plenty of sessions where we were rocking up hungover and it's just having a shit time.
Hills especially.
Yeah.
Would suck.
Yeah, we had that New Year's Eve or New Year's Day session one time. That was a shocker.
Did I show up to that? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, in
New Year's Day. Why'd you bother with that?
That was in the afternoon. That was Lane Cove. That was Lane Cove.
Who was that with?
Just me and you.
Yeah.
What?
Because you gotta get it done, mate.
Yeah.
Get it done. Even though we could have, you use discipline to get the session done, but you're not disciplined enough to not drink 16 beers
the night before.
Yeah, so it's like, what are you doing? And they don't cancel each other out.
No, they don't. They don't.
But yeah, that's probably the closest I've gone to throwing up in a session.
Yeah.
More lifestyle though?
Lifestyle. Any like supplements or little hacks?
Supplement wise,
not cigars.
Yeah, cigars. Helps with the lungs. Supplement wise, what do I do? Creatine once a day, protein shake once a day. That's it.
What does the creatine do?
So it's like
it's more based on
3 energy systems.
Yeah, it's the ATP PC energy system, which is the one you use when you sprint. But you don't. They've done studies. It's more just. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know the science of it with endurance running, but it's more like if you go to the gym and you're doing 6, you're able to do 2 more sort of thing. It just helps with that last little push.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I thought it's more for like efforts that are like around 1 minute.
Yeah, so it's more for shorter stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it in terms of like supplements and I'm just trying to think if I take anything else. Vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin D, basic minerals here or there. But creatine and protein powder.
Been getting into the magnesium powder for sleep.
Oh yeah. Is it good? Helping?
Oh yeah, like I sleep so much better.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. No, I reckon it actually works. Yeah.
I don't know the science of it. I take magnesium more just for like cramps and stuff. But then I've seen studies say that it doesn't actually help with cramping, and cramping's has something to do with that doesn't have anything to do with your magnesium levels. Anyway, there's all that contradictions in the science, and you hear one thing and then an article comes out with saying something else, and you don't know whether to believe one or the other. I just take it. It's not effect. It the way I see it is it performance? Is it a detriment to my performance? No, so I'm gonna still can take it. The one supplement I haven't talked about, it is the number one supplement I recommend everyone is caffeine.
Oh, caffeine.
Oh mate, you can't get with that. Can't get through the day without it. Come on.
And people don't know the science behind it with endurance running in terms of like why do I take caffeine gels? I actually know the science of this is it blocks the pain receptors it blocks your pain receptors. So when you drink caffeine, it blocks your pain receptors. People go, it makes your heart rate faster, but it blocks your pain receptors. So let's say you do a 30-minute threshold and your perceived effort is 8 out of 10. Caffeine technically dosage wise varies. So you got to, depending on what your tolerance level to caffeine is, you might have to take more. There's a formula to work it out. It blocks your pain receptors. So that session that feels like an 8 out of 10 on caffeine might feel like a 6.
Yeah. It does lower your perceived effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. So that's
remember looking at what like the prescribed like dosage was in the
it's a lot.
study. Yeah, it was like 3 to 6 milligrams per kilo of body weight.
And that for me, that's like 400, 500. That's why before.
Fucking insane. That's like heaps.
Yeah.
Wait, how much? Sorry.
3 to 6 milligrams per kilo of body weight.
Okay.
So.
And the best way to, I guess, if you're doing that from a science point of view, I guess coffee's a bad one because you can't measure it, is no dose. Or caffeine gels.
Yeah.
Because you know how much is in there. Because it's labelled. So no dose is 100. So I would have 2 of those prior to like a long run, plus coffee. Plus gels on the run as well.
So you're taking a lot of caffeine in.
Well, that's what I mean. You got to take 400, like 300 or 400.
So you're following like that.
Yeah, for
how much is in a shot of coffee? You reckon?
I think it's about 60 to 80.
Yeah, oh my goodness,
that's
a lot of caffeine.
Yeah. So 2, like a double shot, like a long block usually has 2 shots of coffee.
Yeah,
and that would be 150, 160.
So you're having 4 shots. Yeah. Oh, I'd love that. Maybe I should I've got to up my caffeine intake then.
Well, that's to see performance benefits. That's to see performance benefits, because you look at, I think they did studies, or maybe this is just experience from people who work in team sports athletes. They were taking 4 no-dos before their 7 p.m. NRL game, and they'd take one at halftime as well, and they couldn't sleep.
Yeah, that's like if I have too much coffee, I can't sleep. It's like not worth the.
Yeah,
in the morning, if you're not past that afternoon stage, you should be alright. But if you're taking it at 7, you're not sleeping at all.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. I think it makes you feel better.
Makes it taste good.
Tastes good. Apparently, increases those feel good hormones.
Yeah.
Something to do with dopamine that I don't know about.
Yeah.
Speaking of coffee, go make me another coffee. Give me my second coffee. If you know, you know.
Final one is any other like gear or equipment that you kind of swear by? Heart rate monitors or
not heart. Like I used to be on heart rate monitors. I think I had a look study wise. Watches are 5% maximum, like difference between a thing, and like 5% is nothing. If your heart rate's 150, that's maybe like 3 beats per minute. Like seriously, like is that is that the metric you want to swear by? Look, each their own. So Garmin watch. Yeah, if you haven't Garmin watch, lose the phone. Seriously, if you've got a phone and you're running, you've got one of those armbands. Lose the phone. Get yourself a Garmin. They cost. You can get the cheapest version, which is I guess all you need is a GPS satellite watch. $200.
Yeah, I used to wear the chest strap, and then it was too.
With the armband, or are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about the actual...
no, heart rate.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then I switched to just using the watch. You're right. But
did you have the watch, or did you just have the heart rate monitor?
No,
did you have both?
I turned off the watch.
Yeah. I'm saying if you don't have a watch at all.
No, I'm just saying the variance, because if it's still accurate on the wrist, you still know.
Yeah. Yeah,
like it's still gonna
it's still less than 5 BPMs. I think if you work it out. So whether you're at 150 or 155, is it that crucial? And that's at the worst of times. What else do I swear by? I think one big thing is nylon socks.
Nylon socks, yeah, right.
Okay. Is that you see people that haven't run before and they show up in cotton socks, like those crew cotton socks.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you start sweating them, they're not good. Whereas we all wear, like the brands we wear would all be nylon socks. But get yourself nylon socks for any like novice runner out there.
For blisters and stuff, or
not for blisters, just it stops you sliding in the shoe.
Okay.
Like you'd wear nylon socks.
Probably. I don't know.
Nike, like the Nike race socks, the Steigen, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So I know what type of sock it is.
The features, they're all nylon socks. So go. Cycling socks are really good in terms of they're all nylon. Go pay some good money, and these socks last ages. So recommend those. I guess I'm trying to think what else gears I swear by. Sunglasses, Oakleys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Get yourself sunglasses. They yeah, get yourself some sunglasses.
You look good as well.
You look good, which means you run faster. That's my philosophy.
I think there's something to that. Yeah. I was thinking. Oh, you mentioned the calf sleeves when you had the shin splints.
Yeah. Calf sleeves are.
Was that like noticeable difference at all wearing those, or?
Compression's one of those. Like, if you think it works, wear them. If you don't think it works, don't wear them. Sort of thing. If I wear them, I'll wear them to bed now. Like I'll wear them overnight, and it'll be if my calves are really sore. But I haven't had calf issues in ages, so I haven't worn them in a while. During winter, I kind of sleep with 2XU tights, and that's mainly because it's cold. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, instead of wearing a tracksuit pant to bed, I'll wear something that might be doing something good for me.
Okay.
So I don't swear by compression tights or anything like that.
Yeah.
But if you think they work, then keep going. If they don't, then you're not doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And that was about it.
That's
for running lifestyle.
Well,
topics.
we always end on.
We didn't touch. You didn't actually ask me where I guess my name came from.
Oh yeah.
The
origins.
that,
No. Okay. So obviously.
Yeah, this can be a really quick story.
I thought you were gonna be with the Big Nick shirt.
No, I don't have it on. I've actually got it anyway. I'll tell you after.
So I can tell how I knew you were Big Nick is I hadn't heard anyone call you, but I saw it once at Gore Hill. You were wearing a shirt that literally said Big Nick on it. And that I was like,
that's funny because the reason I got that. So my coach, like that's not even my nickname. I guess it's good now. Everyone knows me as Big Nick, but and the joke's kind of spiraled. Like Joe's on it, everyone's like playing and landing and all that stuff. But I was called Big Nick because when I was diving, I was tiny, so I was really small. So my coach, ironically, called me Big Nick. Yeah. So shout out to Joel, or Joel as we called him because he was Mexican. He would call me Big Nick because I was tiny. So it was like an ironic thing. But now I've grown up to be a man. I'm huge. So I've kind of met the expectations of the name now.
Yeah, you grew into the name.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the origins of the name. And then I was at the Gold Coast Marathon Convention. They're like, oh, you want to put a name on the back? I was like, what can I put? I thought Big Nick was fun. And I started putting Big Nick on my bib as well.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I think my bib said Big Nick.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
That's when I became a big fan.
Yeah. It stuck after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Should we end on that question, Tom? Unless
you have
anything.
No, wrapping up.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We normally just ask guests at the end what their favourite race was. So like what was your most memorable or favourite race and why?
Melbourne was good, but I think any city to surf, because I guess Melbourne was good in the fact that I ran my PB and it was a good training block. But in terms of race, is city to surf, because if you're Sydney based and you train in Sydney, you got everyone there. Everyone drops there. I guess everyone drops everything they're doing to race city to surf, and it's a big community feel. So city to surf for sure. Yeah. Favorite race, yeah.
Solid. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast.
No, thanks for having me.
Rip episode.
Hopefully, it's not touching Arthur's length time, but we'll have to cut it if it is.
I think we're on. I don't know. I don't have anything that indicates here it'll be on the thing. But
okay. Yeah. We've got one more thing.
Last
week's episode, we mentioned a bit of a secret.
Yes.
And talking to a few people, just generally. The secret sort of came up and was starting to spread around to people outside the podcast, which was what I didn't want happening.
I mean...
so from now on, we're going to refer to the secret as Project Mantown. So if you see me out there, just say congratulations on Project Mantown, because it's all going down in Manly. And those who know will know. If anybody doesn't know, tell them to listen to this episode. And then I'm going to tell you right now, if you're listening, go and listen to the previous episode.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're going to have to listen to the previous episode.
No, it's good. We're keeping it a secret.
Yeah, it's a real big secret, real intelligent stuff.
I think this was like a secret about me. I'm like,
no. You'll listen to it after. Dom is just a strategic genius here.
No, please keep it a secret, everyone.
Yeah, good. All right, Nick. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
let's light this thing.
It's a lot better of an idea in theory. Are you gonna light it?
Are we still going? We're still no. We can cut it and then we'll light it after. You can cut this and we'll light it after.
Okay. Okay. Anyway,
That can be the thumbnail.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll get me on a plane. I think that's better.
Yeah. Smoking's guy on a plane.